welcome to the very first episode of Safeguarding Our Nation, a national conversation series on security, leadership, and public trust. Each week, we speak directly with the women and men entrusted to protect Guyana, from our borders to our streets, and explore how national security is evolving to meet today's challenges. Today, we're joined by Brigadier Omar Khan, Chief of Defense Staff of the Guyana Defense Force. A career officer with over 30 years of service, Brigadier Khan has served in senior command and national intelligence roles across multiple administrations. In this episode, we'll be discussing national security and what it means to secure Guyana's borders. Many thanks for joining us, sir. So without further ado, on the issue of national security and border protection, let's begin. Brigadier Khan, Venezuela has escalated its aggression, including holding illegal elections to justify their claim to Esequibo and building a bridge from their mainland to Ancoko Island. What exactly is the GDF doing to safeguard Guyana's borders and protect our territorial integrity?
Yes, Venezuela has increased their aggression against Guyana. However, our borders were settled by the 1899 Arbitral Award. As a Guyana Defense Force, we stand resolute where our borders are concerned. We are operating under a military strategy to build, deploy, and operate a smart, modern, and resilient force, not only to defend Guyana, but also to contribute to economic development. Venezuela and their claim to the Esequibo is more political theater than a military threat. We, however, are being cautious. As a defense force, we are operating within our defense policy of the DIME construct: diplomacy, information, military, and economic. Integral in this process is our partnership. Partnership with the United States, our most important and strategic partner, including others, the United Kingdom, CARICOM, France, Colombia, Brazil. All these nations who hold dear to them the values of peace, respect for international law. This is where we stand on the position of the border.
Let's talk capacity. Venezuela's military is much larger than Guyana's. How can we realistically defend ourselves against such a powerful force?
History would tell us that size does not translate into success. That is why we are focusing on strategy, on technology, and partnership. Military conflict is not in anyone's interests. The claim by Venezuela is political. It should remain there, and the process of the International Court of Justice should be followed. As a peaceful nation, the Guyana Defense Force operates under the construct and within the construct of the DIME concept: diplomacy, information, military, and economic. Over the past 5 years, our investment in the defense sector has seen an increase of over 800%. And this was spread across several areas: technology, training, etc. And if I should tell you, our asset acquisition in the maritime, we are soon to receive a ocean patrol vessel along with aerial assets to monitor our airspace on our exclusive economic zone. So yes, we may be smaller, but we are being strategic, we are being smart, and we're being resolute.
We've seen reports of transnational criminal activity across the western frontier. arms, fuel, drug trafficking, and illegal airstrips. What is the GDF doing to tackle these criminal economies that are exploiting our porous borders?
We have vast borders, over 3,000 kilometers, of which 824 kilometers we share with Venezuela, our borders. It is tough terrain. I would have walked many parts of this border. As a defense force and as Chief of Defense Staff, I'm also the chair of the Joint Services Coordinating Council. And I say this against the backdrop that as a defense force, we play a supporting role to our law enforcement agencies, inclusive of the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Fire Service, the Guyana Prison Service, the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit, the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, and the Guyana Revenue Authority. There are other regulatory agencies that we also support. So crime as a whole in our remote regions and across all the borders, we do so under a joint concept. Just last year, our special forces were able to support the Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit in the recovery, interception of over 4 tons of cocaine in our Region 1 area. The assets of the Defense Force is used to support for surveillance, monitoring, transporting, and also interception as we confront these criminal elements. And I am confident that we will continue to confront these criminals. We will find them. We will apply what is necessary and to bring them to justice.
Despite our security challenges, Guyana has accepted thousands of Venezuelan migrants in recent years. How are we balancing compassion with control, especially in vulnerable border communities?
In the execution of my duties and my visits to border communities, I have personally witnessed Venezuelan migrants and the embarrassment, the shame, the almost loss of dignity of families, women, children, babies, fathers seeking refuge in a foreign land. But we could ask, why are they fleeing? What is the reason? And I would tell you, Guyana are receiving thousands of Venezuelan migrants. But countries like Colombia and Brazil, they are in the millions. It tells about the political and socio-economic conditions in Venezuela. This is disheartening. But while Guyana is approaching this with compassion, we are committed to safe borders, in the protection of our borders. And that is why we have implemented strong security measures on vetting, processing, documenting all Venezuelan migrants. And this is another example in which not only the Guyana Defense Force is involved, but as a multi-agency approach. The Guyana Police Force, the Ministry of Health, the local government authorities, the regional authorities, everyone is on board whenever we have an interception of Venezuelan migrants, and we will continue to do so. On the defense side, this humanitarian gesture is not uncommon, not unprecedented to us. The Guyana Defense Force has been involved as part of its role to conduct humanitarian and disaster relief operations. And what do I mean by this? Just last year, in an extra-regional way, we supported Grenada post-Hurricane Beryl in reconstructing houses and rebuilding lives. And we are currently in St. Vincent doing the same thing. In all, we have contributed and participated in over 200 projects, rebuilding police stations, magistrates, public buildings, family homes. And this side of the Guyana Defense Force is what we also show how much we can contribute to national development and in times of natural disaster.
Brigadier Khan, as we conclude, what message would you give directly to the young people of Guyana about their role in protecting this nation? Would you encourage them to join the Guyana Defense Force?
Let me tell you about my story. As a young man leaving school, I did not know what I want to do. I did some soul searching. I applied to the University of Guyana. I got through. I applied to several banks because that was the thing back then. Working at a bank was, this kind of elevated, prestigious position. I got through. And then I saw the ad to become an officer in the Guyana Defense Force. I had this discussion with my parents, and they were not inclined. And I eventually made that decision on my own to enlist in the Guyana Defense Force. Looking back, these 3 decades, what started off as a 3-year stint. I wanted to be there. Translated into a 3-decade journey for me, 30 years. And as I reflect back, I understand the step that I took for national service within the military is a personal one, is a personal calling to serve your country. I look at my life back then, not knowing what I want to do, but finding myself while serving. This has been a very extraordinary journey for me. And I believe I feel what's going through the minds of our young people today. What should I do? What can I do? What are the opportunities? And I say to them, the military is your calling. Even if you don't know what you want, you will find yourself. And it doesn't matter where you're from, which community, which village. For example, from 1991 to current, I served and continue to serve at least 6 presidents. I'm the 12th Chief of Defense Staff. And I say to the youth out there, the 35th, the 42nd, the 55th is somewhere out there in another community looking for answers. The Guyana Defense Force, the military as a whole, is there to guide you, to present opportunities, even if you don't know what you want. I go back to the point of, if you are going to work hard, not liking what you do, you'll get stressed. But if you end up working for something that you love, that is called passion. In the military, you will find passion. It changes you. Purpose, passion, ultimately leads to patriotism. For every youth out there, there is a place for you in the military. Even if, like me, come, spend 3 years, see where it takes you. You are going to find yourself and your true self. Some people go through life not knowing what they're good at. In the military, I can guarantee you, you will find that purpose in your early stage of your life. On this calling, I would tell the youth, start that journey in uniform. Serve your country. Your country needs you. We are looking for the next generation of defenders. You can be an engineer, a pilot, a cybersecurity specialist. Let your story begin in uniform. Let it begin in service to Guyana.
Thank you, Brigadier Khan, for your service and for your perspectives here today. And thank you to everyone watching. This is just the beginning of a national dialogue on safety, service, and sovereignty. If you found today's conversation insightful, we invite you to leave a comment below, share your thoughts, and send in your own questions for future episodes. Next week, Ms. Marcia Hope will be taking the reins to explore another national security topic. So be sure to leave your questions in the comments or message us directly. We want to hear from you. This is a conversation series on national security and public trust. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.